Yeah, I think that's one of the main reasons I'd say I was diagnosed with cancer. Suppressed emotion.
Wow.
Yeah, I'd say it's definitely suppressed emotion, always been available for everybody else, but for myself. And now when I look at it, I always say that like cancer saved my life. It saved my life. It didn't take my life. It made me see things differently. Yes, I admit it took my brother's life, and sometimes I do feel like he's dealt a very difficult card. But
Tell me about the time for you, man.
it's a tough one, man. With Harvey's, his whole thing, it was just so. It just came around so quick, I think. But also, it was built up emotion, I think, with Harvey as well. He had a lot of, I'd say, trapped emotion. He went through a lot, I think, through his life as well, emotionally. But not only that, I think he put a lot of pressure on himself with a lot of things in life. But when he was diagnosed, it really hit him. Like, and it would hit anybody the way he was told. Like, literally, the day he was diagnosed, we knew something was wrong. Like, he had an aneurysm in like 3 weeks after I was diagnosed.
For those that don't know what aneurysm is.
Aneurysm is basically a bleed in your brain. And I remember going into the hospital and they said, we're thinking it's a tumor, but we can't see because there's so much inflammation from the bleed in the brain. And then 6 months passed and there was no, he was having regular scans, but there's nothing showing up in the scans apart from inflammation. And then when he got diagnosed, it was shortly after, I think, his birthday, but his son was literally 3 months old, his first child. And that, I think that just hit all of us with like a ton of bricks. It was just, prognosis was 6 to 12 months. His route was totally, I mean, we tried the holistic route, but it didn't work with him. But it was predominantly like in the conventional route. I mean, we did a lot of research around stuff, and you know, we prolonged his life. Well, God helped us prolong his life for 2.5, nearly 3 years. So we got to see his son for 2 years, but 2.5 years. But I think just the build up of everything around him, and you know, seeing him suffer the way he did, and just seeing my parents go through that more than anything, that's when I really realized that nothing is in our control. Like, you know, when you say, like when I was speaking earlier, I was saying that we think that everything is we can do anything, but when you're hit with a prognosis and the diagnosis, and we were hit with both, right? My brother's prognosis, my diagnosis, you realize that nothing is in your hands. Like, all you can do is be the best of you, and then whatever's going to happen, that's your karma, that's just something that's meant to happen. Maybe your soul purpose, maybe it's you're meant to go through something to learn a lesson. But with him, he struggled like consistently, like for 2.5 years.
How do you make sense of that for yourself? Because I know you're so close to your brother.
Yeah.
So my brother's my best mate.
Yeah.
How do you make sense when you lose a brother, but you heal yourself? How do you? Because you've said God so much.
Yeah.
What does that look like? Because
it's a challenge, you know. It's such a challenge because, you know what, you see the light, and when the people you love don't see the light like you, it's so difficult. But then you realize that I just can't be everyone's savior. Like, I can't save everybody. Like, it's like when someone gives you a hand, you have to take that hand and I'm not saying he didn't take my hand. He did everything that we said to him to do, but I do sometimes wish he was more spiritual. Like, but and I think the hardest thing is not being able to show that person. Like, and that's obviously a control thing that comes into your ego. You want to do that because you think it's the right way, but God knows the right way. He knows what he has to learn. He knows where he has to, which is hard to say. Like,
no, of course
it's such, for me to say that, it's not easy. But I think the reason why I'm saying it, because I understand it.
Yeah.
And maybe to the listener, to the viewer, but like, how can you say he's learned his lesson? He didn't learn his lesson. Like, when you go in so much, you understand that we're all here to learn lessons. We're just trying to find our way. We're just trying to find our purpose. We're just trying to find why we're here. Like, our life is so short. Like, and our duty as human beings is to remember. But we're so busy. It's just, and I'm part of this. I'm also so busy in life, and I was part of this for years. It's only because I've had this awakening, I'm realizing that it's not just about that external, it's about this. It's what matters here. And I think with Harvey, I think he was worried about his family, and he was worried about, when he heard about the prognosis, obviously it was devastating. He just got his life on track.
Yeah.
He just had a kid, he just bought his house, he fixed his whole house up, he's just about to move in, and it was devastating. And you know what, I can't physically feel that because he went through that, and I can't understand that fully, right? But he's my brother, he's my sibling. I didn't know life without him. I didn't know life. I haven't spent a day in my life without him, and I spent nearly a year without him now, and that's difficult for me in itself, like, you know what I mean? But I think with him, I just wish, I'm not wish, I just feel like, not that I could have done more. I think I've come to peace with that. I did my best. That's what I want to say.
Yeah.
I did my best.
That's where peace is.
Yeah, that's what, and I think that's one of the main reasons why I was so available for him and not for myself. Like I said one thing to myself, that you will do everything in your power, what you can do. Everything you can do, you're going to do. Because I said to myself, I don't want to live in regret. I don't want to be in the feeling of I didn't help my brother when he needed me the most. I was there in every single moment when he needed me. I was there. And that gives me peace. And for my parents, and that's given me so much peace. And I got to spend time with him. I got to spend like days with him, even when he's treatments, and take him to Germany. I got to spend that time. I got to have conversations with him that I'd never have. And I think that gives me peace. But how do I come to terms with it? I don't think I'll ever come to terms with it. It's just I'm just living with understanding that, you know, I did my best, and I know he's out of pain. I think that's one of the biggest things for me personally, that he's out of pain. I mean, it's difficult. Even that's difficult because my parents are in pain. You know what I mean? I don't think you're a parent, you're a dad. I don't think there's a bigger pain than losing your parents. I just can't fathom it. Like when I think about it, I get emotional.
Yeah, of course.
You know, it's just such a deep rooted emotion that you can't understand. But when you see your parents go through that, you think, nah,